What's going on, guys? Bama fan 8504. Little late getting the video out, but it's been a long weekend at work. Before I do anything, I want to give a shout out to Georgia and Georgia fans, specifically Mark Richt, who I've always thought was a class act. Georgia Athletic Department. Win, lose, or draw in this game, we kind of found out, we already knew, people that know about the Georgia coach, about Coach Richt and others in that program. You know, football is a great game. I love it. I played it, I've coached it, and it can teach you a lot in life. But when it comes down to it, it's just a game. The young man from Southern University, was injured last week pretty severely, and I've heard, that he's doing better, and that's wonderful. But the links and the way that the University of Georgia and its fans and its coaches, its players, its administration reached out to that family, to that player, to just everybody involved. Just as a person, and as a person who professes to be a Christian, that to me was that was awesome. And it really made you realize that there are things going on that are bigger than football. And win, lose, or draw, to me, that's classy, and that's what's really most important. And I just wanted to start this video out by saying that just as a Bama fan, and just as a fellow person in this world, seeing that really did my heart some good, and I'm really glad that the university took the steps that they did to be so kind and show so much compassion and so much support. And looked past just a game to really take care of this kid and his family and what they needed. But on to the game, I'm not going to do any stats this week. Really the only comparison as far as games played is ULM, and that's no real comparison. Week 1 versus week 4, it's the same opponent, but different circumstances. Look, let's just be out there and open. Georgia's a very good football team. Okay, I know I've heard a lot of people say, I've listened to Radio Feinbaum and other things this week. They played ULM and they played a horrible South Carolina team and they played this team and that team or whatever, and how good really are they? They beat Vanderbilt, they beat South Carolina, and how good are they? Whatever. They're good. Okay, I've seen them play. Offensively, they've got just a man in Nick Chubb. Sonny Michel's a great change of pace guy. They resemble a lot of what Alabama does with Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake. Their quarterback situation might be a little better than ours. Lambert has played pretty well, and it's at home. It's at home. It's at 2:30. It's a nationally televised game. They usually play pretty well in these type games, and they're going to be ready. They've got 2012 in their mind and back. They're thinking. They've been thinking about that. They've had this game circled. Okay, they're going to be ready to play. Alabama's going to be ready to play too. Bama has a lot to prove too. With the loss to Ole Miss, really, what does this team have? What is their identity? We still don't know what is this team. What do they have offensively? Defensively, we kind of know what they got. Will they be as dominant up front? No, not as much as they were against ULM. Everybody made a great big deal about the game last week, and yeah, that was a great game defensively. To be able to rush 4, shut down, an offense, hold them to 92 total yards, that's terrific. Again, though, they were an undersized offensive line, which Georgia is not. That's an SEC caliber offensive line. With, yeah, they had some talent on the outside, but ULM did, but not at the level that Georgia's going to have. When it comes down to it, though, I think it's going to be strength on strength. I've really looked forward to this game because of the style of offense that Georgia plays. It's similar to what a lot of Alabama fans would like for their offense to be, which is a downhill style, run the ball with your big back. My dog's trying to make an appearance here. With your big back and smash it, and then play action and go up top to your big playmaking receivers. Alabama's strength on defense is put 6-7 in the box, stop the run. They will play some split safety. You'll see that this week too, because Georgia will spread you out a little bit. They'll get in the gun, and you'll probably see some split safety to curtail that deep throw. Okay, but generally they'll probably be in their base formation of 3-4. They'll walk a backer down. They'll look 4-3. Okay, and they're going to try to stop the run and try to make Grayson Lambert beat them. And that's going to be the goal. That's going to be the game plan defensively for Alabama this week, is make Grayson Lambert beat him. Don't let Nick Chubb just run wild. That in my opinion, that's got to be what the coaching staff has got in mind, is don't let Nick Chubb run all over us and run for 200 and something yards and shove it down our throat. We've got to control him and control the line of scrimmage. That's the game plan every week, control the line of scrimmage. Offensively, after last week, I think maybe they've decided to stick with Coker. And I think going on the road, a true road test for the first time, they're going to have to quiet the crowd. They're going to have to shorten the game, and by shorten the game, I mean run the football. They're going to have to make the clock run. On the road, you want to get out of there, as quickly as possible. How do you do that? You run the clock. You run the football. I look for Bama to try and run the ball some, and Georgia's, they're tough up front. They've got a good front seven. They run a similar defense. Jeremy Pruitt being a disciple of Saban, coached there at Alabama for a little while, and he runs a similar style defense, similar style players. I think Georgia's a little more athletic. Not as athletic as Ole Miss was, but they are a little more athletic maybe than Bama's used to playing against as far as defenses go. But I think, the best way to attack that is just to run straight at it. You saw an Ole Miss game against athletic defense. You can't run sideline to sideline, okay? You're not running sideline to sideline on Robert Kimdichie, because he's going to run you down, because he runs a 4-5 or a 4-3. But if you can run right at him and get a body on him, you can get somewhat past him. Not every time, obviously, he's an animal. But in Georgia, I think to attack them, you have to run right at them. You have to you can't really go sideline to sideline. You got to go right at them and hit them in the mouth. Everybody's, a lot of people, Alabama fans have talked about, the 2008 blackout game. And look, that was 2008. This is 2015. This is the first time since 2007 that Alabama hasn't been favored. 70-something straight games. So both teams have a lot to prove. Everybody says Mark Richt can't win the big one. Well, if he wins this one, maybe that's a big one. I don't know. Everybody says Bama, Bama can't lose a game. They'll be out of it. From a playoff standpoint, yeah, if they lose this one, probably are. Can still make the SEC title game if they run the table in the West and Ole Miss slips up and happens to lose twice. I doubt that happens, but it could happen. Listen, boils down to controlling the line of scrimmage. Whichever team controls the line of scrimmage, whichever team gets off the field on third down, that's going to be a big key in this game. Okay? Who can get off the field on third down? And that has been Alabama's thorn in their side for the past 2 or 3 years now. They can't get off the field on third down. If they can get off the field on third down, if they can control the line of scrimmage and run the ball enough, make the short throws when they have to, and maybe hit a couple of deep ones, which they've not been able to do. hopefully hit a couple of deep ones. Possibly. They can get out of here, out of Sanford Stadium, with a win. So, you know, as a Bama fan, I'm always going to roll with the Tide, win, lose, or draw. However, you know, I do know that this is going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a great game. If you like old-fashioned football, if you like hard-hitting lineup and hit you in the mouth and go play football, you need to tune in to CBS on Saturday at 2:30 and watch this game. Just have it on mute because Vern and Gary are calling it, and that's just going to be awful. But, look, I'm going to give you a prediction. If you like it, great. You don't, I don't care. Okay, Bama, I'm going to say Bama comes in, they go between the hedges, they get out with a win. They can do just enough controlling the ball, running it, control the line of scrimmage, get out on third down just enough. And I'm going to say the Tide comes away with a 28-24 victory over the Georgia Bulldogs. This is Bama Fan 8504. Till next week, Roll Tide.